try that again. Hi, this is Natty Talks. It's Lisa and Lexi this time. There is no Joe. He has disappeared yet again. We wanted to come on because him and Dakota did 2 episodes. So Lexi and I had to do 2 episodes. We'll have to go from there if there's any more. But
hopefully there's more.
There will be more. We'll have more episodes for sure. Yeah. We're a little sober this time. So last time I was a little drunk. I'm drunk, but like I could tell.
It was really cold too.
It was February.
Yeah.
So
man, it's been that long. Dang.
It has been that long. So we just wanted to catch up on things, talk about some things.
Yeah. We
kind of have a list, but not really. Our own thoughts. But you were talking about, you wanted to talk about like how we became friends. Is that what you want to talk about?
I mean, a little bit, because I feel like it's a cool scenario. Yeah. And then, like, did we talk about in the last one, like, how you became my last-minute bridesmaid and how that worked out?
No, we didn't. We definitely, I don't think we did.
That would be a cool story, too.
Yeah, we can talk about that. You wanna start it?
Well, we both were going to this church. I still go there, but we were both going to the church called Elevate. That's in Westchester.
Don't tell people where I live. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm pretty sure I've posted enough. Like,
it's
kind of obvious
okay,
I live in that area.
Cincinnati, Westchester, Cincinnati.
20 minutes that way.
I think they're serving in the same class.
Yeah,
like,
we were both serving on the same like team, but like at different services, so we like knew of each other.
Yeah,
like she had seen my TikToks and I'd seen her TikToks, but we never really like interacted.
Yeah.
And then right before Easter, they were doing like a cleaning Saturday to like spruce up the church before Easter.
Yeah. And then you were like, "Hey, have you heard of Ian Mudsick?" And I was like, "That sounds really, really familiar." And you were like, "Well, I got an extra ticket if you ever want to go." So I looked it up while we were cleaning, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, like Horses Are Faster is my all-time favorite song and still is." And it just kind of hit it off from there. Like that was the first time we hung out outside of church.
Mm-hmm.
Was the concert.
Yeah.
And that was like what, in 2022, 2021?
22.
22?
Yeah, 22. Because I just, for some reason, whenever I would go see a concert, I don't want to go by myself. now it'd be okay to go by myself. Yeah. But I bought 2 tickets because I was like, all right, worst case scenario, I'll take my sister, kind of thing. Yeah. But when you were like, oh my God, he's like one of my favorite artists, I was like, oh, I have an extra ticket. Like, do you want to come with me, kind of thing? Yeah, so that's how our friendship started, from that. And then we just kind of grew from there. Because that was a really good concert. We were like right up front.
Literally was touching beers.
I tried to take someone's beer. Oopsies. The other artist who was performing, like he was like he was like trying to cheers me, but like I didn't have a drink, so I'm like, sorry. Like
she wasn't the only one that was doing that. Like he had to make an announcement.
Right. I was like, okay, like it's on you, dude, for like not explaining it very well. Like read the room, like kind of thing. But that concert was also really cool because Logan Wilson and his wife were there, as well as another Bengals player and his now wife. They were there, and I thought that was really cool because they're from Wyoming, and Ian Munsick is from Wyoming, which is why we're going to take a girls' trip there.
Yes.
Because we were going to go check it out. But yeah, that's kind of how our friendship started, was started at the church and then kind of grew from there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think, our friendship deepened even more just a little bit over time, but especially in 2023.
That was such a we did talk about how shit of a year that was for us. So we just became like really close, but like it was, I think I don't want to say peak, because we're still really close, but like
it was a pivotal point.
Yeah, thank you. Was like I had to kick out my maid of honor or matron of honor, and it was like a month or 2 before the wedding, and I was like, Lisa, I said, do you still have that dress from your other weddings you're in, because it matched my colors perfectly? And she goes, yeah, actually I was about to get it cut. And I'm like, please don't, please save that. Can you be a bridesmaid?
yeah, sure, why not? I was like, I can't contribute much at this point, but like, yeah, I'll be there for you. I'll help where I can, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that was where, yeah, I think our friendship took to like another level. Just because I was there for you, and that was a really hard year for you because you had your wedding as well as you had a few losses in your family, and I understood that you just needed space from somebody who was an outsider who didn't know a whole lot, but just needed the space to like vent.
Yeah.
So I was able to provide that for you, and then in 2024, when that was a complete shit year for me, and I lost somebody, you were able to provide that for me, the same way Joe was able to provide for me as a friend, to just be there when I had no idea what was going on. I was just numb to everything emotionally, and you just allowed me to just be. And that was the beauty of it.
Yeah.
And especially at the beginning of this year, I broke my wrist.
Yeah.
And I texted Lexi and I was like, can you come braid my hair? Because I don't want to have to try. I can't do anything with my hair, and I just want it out of my face for the surgery. Can you come like braid my hair?
And you know what I think is still funny?
Yeah.
Is you got stitches on stitch.
Yeah, I did. Can't really see it. You can kind of see it. But
yeah, like I.
It is funny. For my birthday, my mom got me a little stuffed stitch and then put a little Band-Aid over his stomach, and I was like, okay, Mom. Okay, I appreciate it. Thanks. But yeah, I think we've both been there for each other, and we understand that even when we're busy, we don't take it to heart. Like, oh, Lexi hasn't texted me.
Yeah.
Like, she hates me. Like, no, she's busy doing life.
Yeah.
She's at a different season of life than I am, but I can still be there for her. She can be there for me. And like, I think that's how we flourish.
Yeah. And this is, I mean, Tiff's my other one, but like, this is one of my easiest like friendships.
Yeah.
Is me and you.
Yeah. I think it's also because you and I have similar ideas as well as similar values of what a woman should be.
Yeah.
And I think that is key. And that's kind of some stuff that we wanted to talk on, what we think makes a woman
today.
A woman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get ready. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, we already ripped the Band-Aid off on the other episode, so I don't give a fuck if you get offended by this. Like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Honestly. Pretty much. So,
sorry, not sorry.
No, exactly. So what are your thoughts on what makes a woman a woman? And I'm not talking like biology.
I was gonna say,
I mean, we can touch on that a bit.
What makes a woman a woman? It's, so for me, it's harder because like I'm in healthcare. So like I have to be very open-minded. Like I don't have to be, but like you somewhat have to be open-minded. Like you can't be a very close-minded Christian or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like
I guess I should rephrase that. What makes a good woman?
What makes a good woman? That's even hard too.
I know.
Because I got multiple things like going through my head.
Okay.
Because I have to like speak on them, like go back and forth. But
speak on both.
Going back to like what makes a woman, I'm sorry, I don't judge people who, and or I love them. Either way,
this is your opinion and or your thoughts, which could be wrong.
Yes,
we are always open to things.
Yeah. Is like you're born a woman, and that's just coming from being a Christian. Like you are born with a vagina or a penis.
Yeah.
But I also get like the transgender, like being like born in a wrong body, because I have a family member that's transgender. And so I get that too. So that's why it kind of makes it hard for me to answer, because I can see both sides.
Yeah, and well, it's the fact that you have an open mind, whereas when you have a closed mind, it's harder.
Yeah.
Because if you have a closed mind, then you're thinking somewhat of in a negative mindset, and obviously a closed mindset, and you're not thinking in an aspect of love and pure intentions.
Yeah. And so that's why I'm saying I can see both fields.
Right.
But also like not even trying to do physical, but
outside of physical.
like going spiritually, it kind of, I feel like that's harder, if that makes sense. Like
Kind of, but
my
elaborate.
my family member who is transgender, they were born a female and now they're transitioning into a male.
Mm-hmm.
But, even when they were 5, like, I knew they're at least going to be gay.
Mm-hmm.
And so just because of, like, how they're thinking and or, like, even dressing,
Mm-hmm.
like, they weren't like a girly girl like I am.
They weren't being super feminine.
No.
Okay.
They were carrying the very masculine side of things.
Mm-hmm.
So when they came out and said that they were transgender, I'm like, that doesn't surprise me.
Right.
I said, I'm gonna love you either way,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. So that's why I'm saying it's like, I can see both sides.
Yeah.
And also, like, what makes a good woman is, having like a really good balance between their feminine side and masculine side. Like when, Jack's not around, like I have to kind of semi bring my masculine side out.
Mm-hmm.
But when he's around, I can be feminine and I can, like, I love cooking for him. I love baking. Like, I love doing the girly girl. Feminine to me is like doing the girly girl stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, you could say girly girl, or just like being more like soft is another word that you could say. Being more gentle, being more of like your nurturing state of being.
Yes.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. Like, it's a fly. I thought it was a spider. Not about how that. No, I would agree with you. I think when a woman is being truly in her feminine energy is when she is a good woman and she can be her best self, when she is able to be soft and caring and not create more chaos and put out more chaotic energy in the world, which I think again ties back to, at least for me and you, it's going to keep flipping. For me and you, that ties back to the way that we were raised, which is very biblical.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's important too. I had seen a couple of tweets that I read that I wanted to read on here, to kind of just give more of, because Joe and Dakota talked about on like what makes a man, and some of these tweets kind of touch a little bit on that, but also like the feminine side of it. And I think this is very true. So the first one says, a man's energy sets the tone for the entire relationship. Would you agree with that?
Repeat that.
Sure. It says, a man's energy sets the tone for the entire relationship.
Yeah.
So when he's grounded, secure, and consistent.
I feel grounded, secure, and consistent.
She softens, she flourishes, she trusts.
Yep.
But when a man's unsure, unavailable, or chaotic, she's going to overthink.
Yeah.
If you're like, hey, let's make plans, and you don't follow through,
nothing
is going to piss off a woman more. Because here's the thing. Women are receptacators.
Yeah.
So they're going to follow your lead. As a man, you are supposed to lead. As a woman, you are supposed to follow.
Yep.
And so when a man doesn't follow through and he's just like half-ass planning, it's like, why would I?
Like, there's a reason why, like, in most relationships, I don't want to say all relationships, but in most relationships, like, that's why women normally, like, create and or make plans, and then we remind the man.
Right.
Because, like, we, as women, like, we all know it pisses us off, like, not seeking through of something.
Not following through,
Yeah, and, like, in my, like, how I word it is just waiting on something. Nothing irritates me more because I feel like I'm wasting my time.
Exactly. And I think that's the important thing, too, is, like, especially when there's guys out there who are like, oh, I want to do this with you. Oh, like in dating. Oh, I want to do this with you. I want to make these plans with you. You're giving her a false sense of hope.
Yeah.
Because you're not following through.
Yeah.
And then when you're when you don't follow through with those plans, it's kind of crushing because you've given her that false sense of hope. I've had plenty of guys in the past, or even just now, who've been like, hey, I want to hang out with you. And I'm like, okay, we'll follow through with your plan and then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear, oh, I want to take you here. Oh, I want to do this. There's only been far and few men in my life who have been like, I am going to do this for you. And they have followed through with it. When that is the case, I'm willing to be more in my feminine energy.
Yep. I agree.
So yeah, when a man is unsure, unavailable, or chaotic, women are going to overthink. She's going to be closed off, and she carries the weight alone.
Yep.
And that's extremely frustrating.
I mean, we don't want to do that.
No.
Like, and even, I'm not saying like my current marriage or anything, like this is just past relationships, is when a woman gets to that point, like what you just read, we're done. Like, we're done with that relationship.
Right.
Like, once we hit that point, and that wall, we're just like, I'd rather be single.
Right. Because feminine energy doesn't thrive in uncertainty. It thrives in safety.
Yes.
If I do not feel safe mentally, emotionally,
and physically, I feel like
all of them, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, I'm not gonna want any part of it. But especially emotionally, because that's how women are driven.
Yeah.
And then spiritually, if you're a spiritual person, and then the other two follow.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So that's the other.
My
Your what?
My clip.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
This wind's
bothering you. Okay, I've got to find it.
Sorry, babe.
It's okay. So yeah, like, I'm going to read it again. Because feminine energy doesn't thrive in uncertainty, it thrives in safety. And the truth is, when a man shows up in his presence, clarity and intention, she becomes everything. Not because he made her that way, but because he gave her the foundation to finally feel at peace.
Yeah.
Because I think that touches on another thing. Most of the time in life, women feel like they have to be in control of everything.
Yep.
That is a fact.
Yep.
Joe would say, yeah, women think they know everything and they need to be in control of everything. And he's right. We do. We want to be in that energy. But when a man is in his true masculine energy, a woman will be willing to be soft, be submissive, and be chill, and be at peace.
Yeah. And let a man lead. That, that's what they're created for,
exactly.
is to lead.
Like,
and us follow. Like in the Bible, the man's supposed to literally protect his wife and like do whatever he needs to do for his family and or wife. We're supposed to be like the warmness in a home and like the loving in the home.
We women were created to be his help.
Yeah.
His helpmate. Literally, that's what the name Eve derives from.
Yeah.
And like you said, it even says like in the Bible, like a man leaves his home to find a wife. Like, you're not gonna find the woman of your dreams sitting in your basement playing video games.
No.
Get off your lazy ass. Simple as that. Get off your lazy ass. The other one, there's a few. Another one that I read, unless there was anything else you want to touch on that one.
No.
Okay. Another one that I read was the right woman is more than just a companion. She is a force that elevates a man's essence. This is very true. When she stands by his side, she strengthens his masculinity, igniting a power within him that makes him unstoppable. I will 1000% agree with that, because that also ties into what was written down. This also says her love is complete and unwavering, embracing his every flaw and imperfection as part of his unique story. She embodies his own soul purpose, radiating feminine energy that reflects her highest self. In doing so, she becomes his greatest inspiration and supporter, inspiring him to be bold, courageous, and true to his path. The right man also creates a sanctuary where a woman feels safe, seen, and free to express every aspect of herself. That is very true. I have had very few men in my life where I have felt emotionally safe that I can just express it and not feel like they're coming up with a solution, or they're just don't want to hear it. It's been very rare that I've had that space to like be emotional and have that emotional safeness.
And you know, it's like, this is going to sound really weird. I mean, I have it with my husband, don't get me wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but I got that in my dad.
And that's good.
Like, my dad is literally my safe space. Like, he's the only person, like, even when I'm really off on a tangent and Jack can't calm me down, he literally calls my dad up to check me.
Yeah.
And like, I couldn't tell you how many times, you know, I've been angry, not at my dad, but like
Right.
angry, venting to him about something, and like him calming me down, me crying on his shoulder, and like him lifting me up, and like, and again, I get it with my husband, but it's a different.
It's a different dynamic because he helped set that foundation.
Yeah.
Because from a young age, he helped set that for you so that when you were going to look for a husband, you knew what you wanted and what you needed.
Yeah.
In all realms. And you have been lucky enough to find that in somebody.
Yeah.
That is something that I pray for.
Yeah.
On the daily. Don't be single, Lexi. It sucks.
I've heard stories, not from you, but from
oh,
other
okay.
people.
I was like, excuse me.
Not from you, but from other people, and I'm like, nah, I'm good.
It says he is her rock, a constant presence that reflects her light and darkness without judgment. I just touched on that. His love is nourishing and empowering, gently encouraging her to embrace her true essence with confidence. In his eyes, her dreams matter, her struggles are valid, and her inner strength is celebrated. Damn, that's good. Together, they cultivate an environment where growth is mutual, where every challenge is met as a team, and where their shared journeys is one of strength, authenticity, and purpose. I'm not going to read this entire thing, but just it's talking about like when two people like are like in their energy, it's like good.
Like
when two people
like are married,
or well, I think no,
or just
I just even outside of that because like
friendships too.
That is what I was about to say because like
that makes sense.
Joe and I are not aligned to be married to each other. That's not in God's plan. That's not in our plan of humanness. Said that weird. God put us together for a different reason, a different divine alignment that is outside of marriage.
Yeah.
And both Joe and I understand that. We're perfectly okay with that. We're both at peace with that.
Yeah.
Like there is a greater purpose that God has planned for him and I that is greater than marriage. And we're okay with that. Why the rest of the world thinks that the two of us should be married beats the shit out of me. It's whatever.
Well, they're seeing a clip essentially into your guys' world.
Correct.
And they're not like in it.
That's right. They're not in the day to day. They don't understand it. And that's the thing. They want us to fit into this societal box of what they want us to be.
Yeah.
Like kiss. No.
Okay. That's not them.
No.
That's not them.
So it's just like, so that's where I was like, no, it can be with friendships because I strongly believe Joe is very much in his divine feminine male.
I'm telling Joe.
Sorry. Joe is in his divine male energy and I am in my divine feminine energy. And we have a wonderful friendship
over it. Yeah.
Yeah. So this next one, it says, they asked her, how do you know if you found the right person? What is your answer to that? How do you know that you have found the right person in your husband?
It hits different. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Well, as you say. So in my previous, like, dating partners and everything, like...
relationships.
Well, I'm going to say partners. But yeah, relationship. Okay. Either or. My exes, like, I mean, I was hoping to get married to them at some point in my life, but when I got with Jack, I'm like, he's the one. And he instantly knew too. Like, within a month or so, we knew that we were going to get married and like have kids together and everything else. Like, it just, I don't want to say like energy, but it really does hit different when you found your person.
And how long were you guys friends?
So we have a weird concept. Not really. We used to be coworkers.
Yeah.
So he went off. We were coworkers for like a year and a half. We became good friends. And then he went off to college.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't talk to him until his ex came into like my other job that I was working at and was like, yo, can you text Jack essentially to like kind of leave me alone or talk to him or whatever? And I'm like, yeah, I haven't talked to him in a year, but
Yeah.
cool. And we were not even like talking, I think for like 2 months, and then some just switched in
Right.
Jack, and he was like, yo, what's going on?
Right. But you guys were friends for how many years before you guys decided to be in a relationship?
I would say like a year and a half.
Exactly.
Like we were literally just coworkers.
Right.
But being coworkers, working all the time, like you do become friends.
Yeah. So you were friends that turned into lovers. So
yeah,
nothing wrong with that. Okay. So this says, so the question is, how do you know if you found the right person? She answered, you not only feel a magical connection between the two of you, but they make you feel seen and safe like no other. You kind of just alluded on that. They care for you so deeply that your nervous system can fully relax in their presence when you can be at peace. That is major. They make it clear that loving you well is their priority.
Yeah, like Jack feels like my home. Like when I'm near him, he feels like home, and he says the same thing about me. So I agree with that.
Yeah.
Like the peace thing, like you know,
right. And well, that's where, like I said, like I think if you're going to be a true woman to yourself, you have to accept that being not in control and being submissive is perfectly okay. And I think that's true. I think you and I kind of touched on it, and Joe and I have touched on it before, and that's where kind of like his thoughts, but we'll read his thoughts and then kind of just go from there. But he says when a woman is submissive, it says a man is not supposed to be soft. To a tiny writing starting over. So it says a man is not supposed to be soft. To a woman, a man is difficult when he is being tough in his natural masculine way. There's a lot of fight in a man. That is how a man is wired. That is very true.
Yeah.
If he is controlled, he won't show it very often, but it is still there, ingrained in his brain. He is not putting up a wall. He's being a man. This is very true. Men are not in their emotional mindset. They are typically always in a logical mindset.
It's almost like like men are black and white.
Yes.
As to where women, we see the rainbow.
Yeah, I could agree with that. Yeah. Submission is not weakness for a woman. Society will tell you to be a strong, independent woman. That submission is bad, and society does that for a specific reason. Yes, it does. Society will tell it, but there's also a spiritual element to it. Words. That would even get me started. But do it at the same time. Submission is where women get their strength. This is very true. We were created second. We were created to be a man's helper. The other thing with that too is women were made in private. God put Adam. Hello? Is it a swing? Something? I don't know. Sorry. Distractions. Women were created in private. God put Adam to sleep to create Eve. It was literally just God and woman. It was supposed to be, it was a very private matter. And that is how it is supposed to be. So as a woman, you need to have some mystery to you. You need to have some, I don't say closed off. It's not the right word. Privacy isn't either. I guess mystery.
I feel like mystery is
good. But like you should also have some.
I know what you're trying to say, but
respect for yourself. But like I know people are going to try and come up and be like, I do respect myself when I dress like this. Okay, well, good for you. I think mysterious.
Yeah.
Like, Dang it, that's gonna bug me.
We're gonna like
We're gonna
move past it, and then
yeah,
we're
gonna
gonna
come back to
randomly
it.
like,
So,
this
yeah.
is what I meant.
Yeah, so okay, so submission is where women get their strength. When a woman listens to a man and is submissive, she is not going against his boundaries. She is providing peace. Doing this will make a man completely shift his attitude towards a woman. He will literally feel like he is begging for her time even though he isn't. So when a woman is submissive, it is extremely powerful. So if you see how powerful that is when you are submissive, a man is going to open up more to you. And I think that is very true because there have been plenty of times Joe and I have gotten into it. And I have wanted to just continue to keep getting at him because I wanted to prove that I was right. But because he is well versed in psychology, he would start softening his tone. And instead of being like at me, he would still be getting at me, but at a softer tone, and it would bring me down on an emotional level.
Yeah.
Then, like, the first maybe 3 to 6 months of our friendship, I was always combating him. But then I slowly realized that if I just, like, listen to him, because to me, in our friendship, I was like, he just needs someone to listen to. Like, just listen to him. Actually, like, give him the space to talk.
The last 6 months, I have learned that.
Yeah.
And like me, I even brought it up to Jack. I'm tired of being in my masculine self.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to be submissive to
right.
you because that's what a wife should do.
Right.
And
we need to preface this too. Like, when we use the word submission, we're not meaning like, oh, let the man control you. Like, no. The world has made that word dirty. It is not dirty. I'm actually going to look up the definition of submission. So,
yeah, or even submissive.
Okay, I'll look up submissive.
Like, you're not. When you find the
dictionary,
right one,
not that one.
When you find the right one, or even with like friendships and stuff,
mm-hmm.
like, if it's the right friendship and or the relationship, you want to be like, it's your feminine side. Like, your submissive is your feminine side.
Yes. So
like they coexist.
They coexist. Yes. So an AI overview of what does a submissive person mean? A submissive person is someone who is inclined to yield to the authority or will of others, often without resistance. Someone who is inclined to yield to the authority or will of others, often without resistance. That is how it is supposed to be, because the man is the head of the household and you are supposed to follow his authority.
Or, in other words, lead. Like,
correct. Follow his lead. Exactly. That is what you should do, because if you're not, then you're just constantly combating each other, and then you're just putting more chaotic energy out there, and that's not great. This is another tweet that I saw that says, you get the best version of me when I feel safe around you. Mm-hmm. If I'm not soft or submissive with you, I don't trust you. Mm-hmm. My femininity flourishes in healthy environments. I protect that version of me because I've spent so much time healing and preserving that version of me.
Yep.
And that's very true. I think you and I both can agree that in our 20s, we were not great. Like, I have openly admitted that, like, I was totally into the hookup culture. Thought this is how I'm loving myself, because I'm in control of what I'm doing with my body. And I get to say who gets to be around me, who gets to enjoy my time, who gets to enjoy my energy.
Well, I'm still in my 20s, but me being in my late
Your 20s. Early 20s, okay?
Like, listen, don't add. We just talked about this. My little cousin added 4 years to my life, and I'm like, I'm not that old.
Boo-hoo.
Okay. But, yeah, I would agree. Like, my younger 20s, not like, I was with Jack in my younger 20s, mm-hmm. but, like, I let people walk all over me, if that makes sense, and I wasn't preserving, like, my inner peace. Yes. And, like, my happiness. Okay. So,
Nope, I can totally agree with that. This other one, this next tweet that I saw says, she can't be soft if you're still in survival. So if a man is not in his energy, his masculine energy, and he's just constantly in survival mode, a woman cannot be soft. I actually disagree with that. Because I have some male friends and their life is in complete survival mode. And I think, actually, I know me being in like my softness and being in my feminine energy has helped with them in their survival mode. So I don't agree with them, but I get where it's going.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as being soft, submissive. There is no such thing as a soft, submissive female woman in a relationship where the man is drowning in survival mode. Again, I kind of disagree because I can see the spiritual aspect of it that like you can help raise him up because of that kind of thing. You want her to be gentle, to trust you, to surrender to your leadership, but how can she? When your energy is anxious, your money is unstable, and your plan for the future is still just a hope, not a structure.
That I gotta be careful with my words on that one. That I disagree.
Okay.
From like the situation that we have been in for the last couple months.
Yeah.
So I I don't really want to like
you don't
touch on
no,
it.
you don't have to dive into it, but
yeah.
you have a different perspective.
Yeah.
So it says, and your plan for the future is still just a hope, not a structure. You are not her safe space. You're her second job. She doesn't feel protected by you. She feels pressured by you. Because when a man can't hold his own life, he tries to hold a woman for comfort, and that makes her masculine. Not because she wants to lead, but because you're giving her no choice but to compensate for your lack of structure.
Not only that, but like you're almost making your wife or your partner become your mother. Ooh. I like, and that it's not even like a mask. Like you're literally turning into, which your mom or your parents are your leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Like you go to them for guidance.
Right.
Well, when your life is like that, like you're literally making her be your mom.
Right.
No one wants to be like that.
No.
Or even a parent. Like no one wants to be in that friendship.
No.
Relationship. No one wants to be in that shit.
Right. Masculine provision creates feminine expansion.
Repeat that.
Masculine provision creates feminine expansion.
Yeah.
Feminine energy is reactive. It reflects what it receives. Like I said, women are receptors. Men are conductors.
Yep.
Choo-choo, motherfucker. If you lead with chaos, she becomes cold. Mm-hmm. If you lead with fear, she becomes controlling. If you lead with lack, she becomes hardened, calculating, and combative.
Yep.
Not because she's a bad woman, but because you're an unprepared man and she can't relax in your presence if your presence does not create order. I am going to disagree with that because there are bad women out there. Because they don't take accountability for themselves. And they've never healed from their childhood or never healed from whatever trauma that they have. So I don't agree with that. There are bad women out there. Because that's not true. It says because you're an unprepared man and she can't relax in your presence. That's not true. I have been around men who are prepared. And I have been able to relax. I've been around men who are prepared and around women who cannot. I don't know where I was going with that. Whatever.
Well, I kind of want, going off what you're saying, like Joe, for instance. Like me and him we don't hang out. I mean, I hang out with you guys sometimes. But like I feel But Joe's very masculine, and like we're in Cincinnati. Like, you know how I am in Cincinnati. I
Mhm.
love Cincinnati. I can never drive in Cincinnati, but I do love the city.
Right.
But when we're with Joe in the city, because he's so masculine, like he's in that energy that I feel safe
Mhm.
with him. Like when I'm not near, like, which I feel like that with Jack.
Yeah.
But I'm saying when I'm not with Jack, like just Joe's an example. Like I feel
Mhm.
safe around Joe.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Going off of what you're
Yes,
saying.
it does. It makes complete sense. It's 100% why I spend most of my time with him, because he provides that safe space as a friend
Yeah.
that I can just be myself.
Yeah.
And I would say that I can safely assume that he would say the same for me.
Yeah.
For him. You keep praying for a soft woman, but your softness is not something you demand. It's something you unlock through provision, through protection, through divine structure. She can't exhale until you exude certainty. She can't blossom if your foundation is built on uncertainty.
Mm-hmm.
So build first, not for validation, not for applause, but for your presence alone becomes the sanctuary she's been waiting for. Because a true feminine woman doesn't want to compete with you. She wants to collapse in your arms without wondering if those arms are strong enough to hold her.
Yep.
Women do not want to fall if they do not feel secure. We are tired of hitting rock bottom.
Yeah.
Men, please be in your Please be in your masculine energy. Women are tired.
Yeah.
Okay, let me
Like
phrase
we
that.
don't.
Good women are tired.
Like we don't want to be in that masculine energy. Like it's exhausting.
Yeah.
Like who wants to? And I'm sure men are going to come back and be like, well, how do you think we feel? But it's like, we're not made to do that.
We're not coming at you. We're holding you accountable like people should do.
Because I'm telling you what, like, again, if we're in that masculine energy at all times, we're leaving.
Yeah.
To find something else to where we can be submissive or like have our energy in a better spot. Like
No, you're absolutely right, because it's like, okay, let me spend a little bit of time on this because it's giving me attention and I'm enjoying the attention. But when there is no longer a mental stimulation or an emotional stimulation for women, they will go find something else.
Yeah. Just like I'm sure men.
And this is going to offend men because there are a lot of weak men out there. It is easy for us to manipulate you, and then you get mad. And I know Joe and I have talked about this. When a good woman gets hurt by a shitty man, why does she then want to treat a good man as a good man? It's the same thing for men. They get treated by a shitty woman. Why would they want to put out goodness for a good woman when all he's going to feel is completely getting shit on? It's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It is manipulation on both ends. And it's the fact that both men and women can do it. So I don't want to hear from women when they're like, oh, men are manipulating. No, fuck you. Women are more manipulating because we control the emotional side of it. And most men do not know how to regulate their emotions properly. Yeah. And then you use that against them, or you weaponize something against them, and you're a shitty ass person if you do that. You're a shitty ass woman. Yeah. High five. We're not. All right. One of the other ones that I read said she is an aggressive yet submissive woman, and no, that's not a contradiction. It's balance. Mm-hmm. It's fire and softness coexisting in one body. She will absolutely dominate you if you give her nothing to follow. She's confident,
like
intelligent.
I said, like before, if we don't get that from you, we are leaving. Like if we have to be in that energy, we are leaving. Mm-hmm. Like we will find a way. Mm-hmm.
So she will absolutely dominate you if you give her nothing to follow. She's confident, intelligent, independent. She knows how to take care of herself, so she's never going to blindly hand over her trust or energy to a man who does not deserve it. Nope. I will straight up be honest about this. Women will just, like I said, they will talk to multiple guys just for a little bit of attention because we're women and because we need attention and we just want to feel wanted.
Well, if I'm being complete, like before I even met,
But then we get bored.
yeah,
So we move on.
Yeah, when I first got with Jack, like we were just friends back in the day. Like I was literally talking to 4 other dudes to see which one like fits me best.
Who was the pick of the day?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I hate to say
no,
that.
don't yes,
but
because men also do it.
Oh yeah.
It's actually both. Hold on, why did I get a notification? Okay, never mind. Okay. It says, but if you're respectful, grounded, and masculine in the way that creates safety, not fear, she will submit in the most powerful way. Not out of weakness, but out of trust.
Yep.
Because submission for a strong woman is a choice, not a default. She needs a man who knows where he's going, a man with direction, with presence, with consistency. She doesn't respond to control. She responds to clarity. She's not impressed by power plays or ego. I'm going to slightly disagree with that because I have seen...
With the ego?
No, the power plays.
Okay.
Well, okay, I'm thinking of it in like a business aspect. So like I've seen some men make business moves and that's like, I was like, oh, that is very great to see. Like I would want to be under your leadership kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think it means like in a manipulative way. Wait for the motorcycles to go by. She wants connection, emotional leadership, mutual respect. That emotional leadership is huge. Because when a woman is very strong in her emotional intelligence, she most of the time is always leading. But when a woman can just feel safe emotionally, where like the two of you are at a mall and he's searching, doing the looking, being observant, you can just be in your own little world and your own little head.
Like, yeah, honestly, and that's why I'm saying like, when I'm with Jack, I know I'm good, like, and I'm safe. Because, for instance, like just in a parking lot,
yeah,
like, you know how you got like the 2 rows or whatever. Let's just say you got the cars, like parked cars right here. If I'm on the outside of Jack, he will literally get next to me and then push.
Same with if you're walking on the street.
Yeah,
the man should be on the outside and the woman should be on the inside.
Like he will literally grab my hip and like move me to the other side. And I'm like, oh, okay, sorry.
Thanks a lot, Joe, for not protecting me whenever we walk around this damn city. Asshole.
Yeah, he wasn't doing that today. But I still feel
He
sad.
never does it.
How rude. You know what? I'm calling you out, Joe.
He leaves me when we tailgate, okay? Takes off running.
Okay, well, that's when you bring me.
Okay. It says she will not follow a man who does not value her mind, her heart, or her soul. She will not shrink. Okay, hold on. I gotta read that first part. She will not follow a man who doesn't value her mind, her heart, or her soul. If all you want is my fucking body, you can fuck off.
God, these bugs.
Because
sorry,
no, you're fine. If that is all you want, then go find less. Simple as that. Because I am more than just a body. I am more than just a whole.
Oh, it's yeah. I cannot, Lisa. It's so true though.
I know it is.
But no, that's because when a woman has sex with someone, a piece of her goes with you.
A piece of their soul.
Literally goes with you. Like you will forever be connected.
Yes.
And like it sucks.
I
mean, I'm married.
You're married, yes,
but like
you have a past.
Yeah, and that past, like
that past sucks. It happened, but there's grace. But the enemy will still use it against you.
Oh yeah, and what she does. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Freaking wait, kids. It's not that exciting.
It's not, and that's why I'm saying like. That's why I said.
I lied. It is very exciting.
That's why I said like. What I said, like you literally every time you have sex with someone, a piece of you goes with that person.
Correct.
That's why in the Bible it tells us to wait until
people can get mad at that we're making this about God, but I don't give a fuck. That's me and Lexi. That's how we met.
That's our core. That's our relationship.
Our foundation.
Yeah, but like that's literally what it says in the fucking Bible.
Right. Exactly.
and I see why.
Yes. That was something that I think Joe and I have touched on another episode. He had to.
There's no reason for that.
He had to learn to love me as well as other people without physically being with them. Like, that is the importance, and that is like the foundation. That's the importance of love. Okay, so it says, she will not shrink just to make you feel big, but she will soften, she will let her guard down, and she will be the most nurturing, loyal, and gentle woman you've ever known when you make her feel safe about it. So no, it's not difficult to understand. She doesn't need a man to control her. She needs a man who knows
lead.
how to lead her without losing her in the progress.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm just going to read this one more time because I think it was very important. And I also kind of want to look up a scripture. I think you know which one I'm talking about. I think there's a few. You just look up the word submissive or submission. You'll get a bunch. But I'm going to read this again. And I'm going to wait till Lexi's ready. And actually looking at me. Thank you. I said I will do that in a minute. Stop looking! Lexi! Okay. Sorry, I'm being bossy.
I said that earlier.
You did. I'm apologizing. Accepting
Like, dang, okay, I see you, boss lady.
Accepting responsibility. Well, it's because there's no man around.
Yeah.
But anyways, family-friendly podcast. Keep my inappropriate thoughts to myself, even though I've already mentioned half of them. All right, it says, when a woman is submissive, a man is not supposed to be soft. To a woman, a man is difficult when he is being tough in his natural masculine way. There is a lot of fight in a man. That is how a man is wired. If he is controlled, he won't show it very often, but it is still there, ingrained in his being. He is not putting up a wall, he is being a man. Submission is not weakness for a woman.
Yeah.
Society will tell you to be a strong, independent woman. That submission is bad, and society doesn't. And society does that for a specific reason. It's evil. Simple as that. Submission is where a woman gets their. Submission is where women get their strength. When a woman listens to a man and is submissive, she is not going against his boundaries. She is providing peace. Doing this will make a man completely shift his attitude towards a woman. He will literally feel like he is begging for her time even though he isn't. See how powerful that is? Yeah.
That's good.
It is.
Now can I look?
Yeah, because I
Thanks,
don't.
boss lady.
Sorry, I don't have the Bible app on this one.
Well, I tried to. Hold on.
Almost. Go ahead.
I need my glasses.
Oh no! You want my glasses? Okay, so I wanted to look it up.
Submissive wife. Okay, I want to look
No,
up
that's
the
not the
wife
one I wanted.
since I'm a wife.
So I just did. I asked AI. I said, "What does it mean to be biblically submissive?" It says, in biblical terms, being submissive generally means willingly choosing to respect and follow the leadership of someone else, particularly in a way that honors God.
Listen, I got a good one. Let me
finish.
Ooh, finish, because I got a good one. Because this is a mic.
Okay. I'm going to reread that. You get me all hyped up. Okay.
Let me go.
Okay. In biblical terms, being submissive generally means willingly choosing to respect and follow the leadership of someone else, particularly in a way that honors God. It's not about passivity or blindly obeying, but rather a voluntary act of yielding one's own will to a higher authority. This concept is often discussed in the context of marriage, Wives are called to submit to their husbands, but it also applies to other relationships and to individuals submitting to God's will. Go ahead.
Okay. So I just looked because I'm married.
Mm-hmm.
So this is both for the men and for the wife. It's in Ephesians chapter 5, and it's verse 22 and 23. So it says, "Wives, submit yourselves to your own husbands as you do to the Lord." And then in the 23 verse, "For the husband is the head of the wife, as Christ is the head of the church, his body, of which is the Savior."
So Ephesians 5:21 says the Bible also emphasized mutual submission among believers, meaning that everyone should be willing to yield to one another in love and respect. So I touched on 3 things. It says submission in marriage, which you kind of touched on, submission to God, and 3 points that I put with that is ultimate authority, denying self, finding strength in submission.
Yep.
The 3rd thing was submission in other contexts, civil authorities. Should we touch on civil authorities, Lexi?
No.
Okay.
Well, maybe it might get me hyped up.
Yeah.
I'm in trouble.
So civil authorities, church leaders, and then overall, biblical submission is not a rigid set of rules, but rather a way of relating to others and to God with humility, respect, and willingness to yield to one's own will for the sake of a greater purpose. Because isn't that what we're supposed to do in life? Is just enjoy life and put out good energy and love each other and love God? Because aren't those the two greatest rules that are out there?
Yeah.
Love the Lord with all your heart.
And love thy neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If we talk about authority,
Yeah,
we get
we're
in trouble.
No, we won't go off the deep end. We'll,
That might cause me in deep end.
we'll save that little energy. We'll save that energy for Joe.
Yeah. Listen, that would be such a good podcast. Us 3. Can you imagine?
Talking
No,
politics.
not even politics. Not even
All 4 of us.
Listen, I might jump. No, I'm kidding.
It's okay. He's not gonna watch this though.
Oh, he's not?
No, he doesn't
Well,
watch
listen.
film. You gonna teach that boy some lessons?
Yeah, as a wifed up woman, yeah, like should we even talk about the last podcast?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, listen. It got me hyped up again. With him saying a woman should stay at home and take care of the kids, fuck that. I get it. I'm supposed to be submissive, in which I am submissive to my husband. I will be damned if a man controls.
Oh, guys, Lexi's really fired up.
I will be damned if a man controls me like that. I will be submissive, but you're not going to control the money. You're not going to control what I do, because I don't control you. So why are you going to control me? Fuck that. I will leave that marriage so quick if he ever pulled that. Thank God Jack's not, I just want to say Jack's not like that. Like, my husband is not like that.
No.
But I promise you, any woman would leave that shit. I give props to stay-at-home moms. That is not me. I lose my mind when I'm at home for 3 days in a row. I could never be a stay-at-home mom. I give props.
No, I get that, and I think that's because you know that that's not what your divine purpose is.
Yeah, no,
it's not that. That is not where. That is a good word for you. That is not where God has called you to do ministry.
Ooh, it's not.
No, He has called you to do ministry in the marketplace and healthcare.
Yep. Yeah. That one comment got me real fired up with Dakota.
And that's understandable, and if anybody watched, they would see that Joe tried to kind of correct him and be like, "Hey,
yeah," that calmed me down. But I'm like, ooh, I was texting Lisa paragraphs. She knew.
I was like, ooh, tell me how you feel. I was like, tell me everything. So, but yeah, we hope you enjoyed this women's episode. If you have any comments, let us know. you don't agree with us, then
That's okay.
comment kind things, not shitty things, and
We're
have
just,
a conversation with us.
yeah. I mean,
Simple
I'm
as
an
that.
open book. I don't
So am I, to a
like
degree.
Well, yeah.
You need to have some privacy in your life.
Oh yeah, 100%. Especially if you're But I'm saying I'm an open book when it comes to that. Like, I love discussing these things.
Right.
Because again, like I said in the beginning, I see both perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I'm thankful for that because I am in healthcare. Like, you have to see both sides. And
Correct.
Me and you are both very rare. And
We are rare breeds.
When it comes to Christianity and stuff, and like
Mhm.
not being close-minded, because we both know, like, you know, we're known, like, Christians are known to be close-minded.
Yes. And the fact that we are open-minded Christians and we are not judgmental is major.
Yeah.
Because that is the furthest thing I want you to ever feel when you are in my presence. What I want you to feel when you are in my presence is pure love. Not just love, pure love.
Yeah.
Which is just God working through me.
Yep.
That's what I want you to feel.
And yeah, and that's why, like, I'm thankful you asked me to be on this, because we do think a lot alike, because we are open-minded Christians.
And that's because we have an alignment on our minds as well as our hearts that are divinely connected.
Yeah. Now, I do have some strong feelings about this.
And that's understandable because we're women.
Well, also I'm a water sign and Scorpio.
I'm a water sign also.
Yeah, we did figure that out.
Yeah, we did figure that out. Yes, we did. And, mine makes sense. But the other one, I was like, okay, that doesn't make sense.
For me?
No, for you, yes, it does make sense.
Oh.
But I found out the other person who I thought was a water sign is not a water sign.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But anyways, if you enjoyed this women's episode, comment, talk to us, have a conversation with us. Don't bash us. Because that's really funny if you're a woman and you're like, women supporting women, and then you talk about us. That's not really women supporting women. That's being a bitch. So
yeah, like,
don't do that. Do you want to end it? Do you know how we end it?
No.
Oh, dang. Okay. Cincinnati against the world.
Oh, yeah. You told me that last time too. I promise I listened. No.
Well, I'm getting eaten by ants, so Cincinnati against the world. We're getting off these picnic tables.
Yeah, I'm like getting ate up.
Yeah, we
over
are.
Here.
So, and with that.